So it's a week later, and I want it to be a little bit more presentable before I show you the finished product. So this is the finished product. Hello, and welcome back to Mrs. G's Living. I am Mrs. G. If you love fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and anything in between, you are at the right channel. So today I have a special video. This is a beginner's guide for creating jumbo box braids. So what we're working with is I have 3.5 packs of this pre-stretch quick and easy 26-inch 1B30 hair color, which is an ombre color. So 3.5 packs of these. I have a wide tooth comb. I also have some rubber bands that I will dip in oil. I have my leave-in conditioner. I have the banana clips. I have scissors. I have some scrunchies. Also, you definitely need, your jam, shine and jam extra hold, as well as I have water bottle. So I know I'm looking slightly crazy, but I have parted my hair in 4 parts here, so sectioning it off just makes it easier. So I am going to start from the front section. It's your preference. I find that I start from the front section because the front section, I realize that by the time I get to the back, I'm tired, I'm annoyed, I don't care about the parts. So I rather the front look good and the back look a little bit more questionable, since people are typically seeing the front, and if they are seeing the parts in the back, then they're too close to you. All right, so I'm gonna spritz it a little bit more. Now I'm not drenching it, I'm just trying to loosen it up. Now, by all means, most people usually blow dry their hair. Me, I don't. And it's just my preference. It would be easier if you blow dry it, but heat damage and it's just hot, the blow dryer, I'm just not. I tend to skip that step unless I'm getting my hair professionally braided. Then I don't have no problems with them doing it. But for me, I tend to skip that step. So right now, what we're going to do is we are going to prepare the hair. So this is the hair, the 3-pack hair, and I will just section it off depending how much hair I want to use. Now I'm going to make this big box braids, so I want maybe a little bit, 5 to 6 braids. I'll just separate it like this. This is the pre-stretch one, which I love. I don't know who created it, but oh my God, it has done a world of wonder. I used to hate the packs that were just straight and you would have to stretch it. So I typically just divide it with the duck clips, and I'll put it on my table. So after I separate that entire pack, what I tend to do is that I go back into my first section and I use the wide tooth comb to kind of section it off. And if I feel like it's giving any resistance, I'll just spray water on it to kind of loosen it up, okay? So I always use my wide tooth comb to kind of make the initial part because it's just so much easier to do so. And I try to get it as straight as possible just with the wide tooth comb. And then what I will do is just pin that excess area or hair to the side. And then I'll go in with the jam. And this is how you make your part straight. So what I'm going to do is then use my mirror and the rat tooth comb to make a more precise part. comb to make it a more precise, straighter part. I'm not one of those people that it has to be 100% straight. I've never been a perfectionist when it comes to me parting hair, so I get it to 90% and I'm fine with it. Right now, I'm just moisturizing my hair with the leave-in, the Cantu leave-in. So, when parting your hair, you want to stagger the parts. So, you want to go by the row below and just simply go into the middle of that row. That's the easiest way to kind of stagger your parts. And so you're just going to go into the middle, use the bottom row, the lower row, as your guide to stagger that part. Once you stagger that part, of course, you're going to put your shine jam. And it may be easier for those who are at the beginning level and this is their first time braiding. One, I try to always put the rubber band a little bit further up because I like for the knot to be somewhere near the part. And so this is what I mean being preemptive and just parting it in advance and doing the rubber bands first. So 1, 2, 3, then you go back and braid. This is not the typical way I do it. I like to be one and done, meaning if I do this one, if I rubber band it, then braid it and it's over with, I don't have to come back and view it. But this is another option for you. Braid it with it. So there's several ways you can braid your hair, especially with the jumbo braids. You can either part it in the middle, and when you part it in the middle, you can either put the hair in the middle evenly and then put a rubber band to secure it. If you are a beginning braider, this is probably the most easiest way to do it. Put it in the middle and then secure it like that. Or, well, let me at least demonstrate for you. Now make sure to oil the rubber band so it doesn't break your hair. So oil the rubber band. So you would leave it like that. Right, and it's secure right there in the middle, and then you can separate some of the hair, make it three strands. So you're gonna engulf your regular hair and take two strands from the side of your hair. And then you're just going to start braiding. And this seems to be the most easiest way. So when you braid, you have your right side, which I'm right-handed, right? And I will cross it over to, so the right side, this is the right one. Cross it over to lay on top of the middle braid. Then you cross it under to lay it on top of under the left braid. So I'm just going to try to do it in slow motion so you can see what I'm doing. Now, while I'm doing this, I always, with my own hair, I always put product or try to even it out because, of course, I didn't blow dry it. And so this is like one way you can do it. It seems to be the most easiest way to do it. Now, I know earlier I had a pack and I had I pulled out 5 braids. I end up combining some of the braids. So in essence, it's going to be 4 because I really want the jumbo hairstyle. So I'm going to braiding, move that so you can see some. Braid. So let me see if I can slow it down so you can see. So the right goes over the middle. So you have your index finger and your thumb. Those are going to be the main fingers. So the right strand goes over the middle. The middle comes now, and the middle is the outside. That the right braid goes under the other left side, and that's how you would keep braiding. Now I usually try not to borrow hair, but sometimes when you're reaching the end of the hair, you tend to kind of borrow. So I'm going to braid it all the way to not to the end where the color starts, because I actually want to dip it in hot water with a rod set. So I'm not going to braid it all the way. I'm just going to braid it right there and leave the ends like this. So this is typically how the braid will look. And just keep in mind, it's going to be underhanded at first, but you'll always be able to turn it around to lay it flat. So that's how it looks. Okay. So I just wanted to show you one way. I'll show you another way to do it as well. Use the rubber band. Once again, make sure to put it in oil so it doesn't break off your hair, and just put it in a ponytail, not too tight and not too close to your scalp. Okay. And then once again, you take your hair, you're going to take maybe 1/3 of the hair. So 1/3, and you're going to cross that smaller hair on top, and then it's going to join together to make the third hair. You're then going to place it on top. So the middle hair is going to go on top of the ponytail. This is why you made the middle hair slightly less hair than the two end parts. And then you're going to just merely start braiding it. So one over the other. So it's going to wrap one over the other, one over the other. Hopefully this is showing. Let me move in closer. One over the other. So hopefully you know somewhat how to braid. If not, you have your right, you have your index finger and your thumb. Your index finger and your thumb is just going to over and under. This is my preference. I've only done this once before and I actually liked it. The only con is that once your hair starts growing out with the rubber band, you can feel kind of the weight of the hair. Whereas not using a rubber band at all, I feel like once your hair grows out, I don't feel it as much. But I kind of like this way because it actually keeps the part pristine a little bit longer than if you did not use the rubber band, which I will show you how not to use the rubber band. So we move back. I'm not going to braid that all the way because, as I said, and so you can always, once again, straighten it out. So once you're doing it, it's going to be under, but you could always turn it around and straighten it out. So that's it. You can just put your rubber bands in a top. This is the Shine and Jam top. And here's some oil, and just saturate it in oil so it's not ripping out your edges or ripping out your hair when it's time to remove it. Okay, now I like the braid, the original braid I did so much that I decided to keep it because that's the way I'm going to do it the second way. So I put some style, some jam, and I'm going to show you the third and final way you can actually install your box braids or your jumbo box braids. You're going to, once again, you can either like I typically will just part one side and flip it over to give my 3 strands. And then I'll just go in the middle, place that left strand on the half that's on the outer border, and then still have the 2 strands in my index and my thumb. Once again, the middle part, here is consider it the dominant here. It's the one that's going to do all the overlapping and looping. So the one under it, the third, hopefully you can see it, that's held by my thumb. I am just going to move it to the side. And so the thicker part is in the middle. And I'm just going to braid it. Braid it. So one over the other. Now, if you're a beginner, this is gonna be the most challenging part. If you've been, familiar with braids and how to braid here, this is going to just be easy for you. So you see that, how I attached it? As I said, if you're a beginner, use the second method. It's the most easiest to me. I'm just gonna keep braiding it. Another way you can do is, I'm gonna show you, just give me a second. So I'm just gonna keep braiding it. So how are you guys doing today? I didn't even say hi, that's rude of me. So what I'm gonna call this platin chat, right? If you're still here with me, say, pretty much you guys don't stay along for the ride. So this is how this looks. And as I said, it's always gonna be under because you're braiding under. There is a way you can braid up top. I can show you that way as well, but typically you can just twist it to have it back. And what I usually do is just smooth it out. And that's how it looks. Okay, and that's without the rubber band. Now to braid it on top, just take this off. I guess this is the 4th method. Okay. So remember in the beginning, I had the one piece. So I'm gonna take maybe 1/3 of that here. 1/3. And once again, lap it on top to make this loop to give it 3 even portions, right? If you want to braid it on top, section out 1/3 of your reel here, and you're going to do it as a corn braid or a cornrow. So this is difficult as well if you don't know how to corn braid. So I want to just give you options. So over and under, while I'm grabbing my natural here, under it. I'm trying to get closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. If you're not a braider, this is going to be challenging because once you reach a certain part naturally, so you see how it's on top, it's at the root of it when you do it under. Now, naturally, you're going to want to switch your arm, the way your arms are rotated, because it's just easier. So I switch my arm rotation, but the braids are still going to be uniform and still the same. You're not going to see a twist in the braid pattern. So over and under, over and under. And I know this may be challenging for a lot of people. I've been trying to teach my nieces. I've given them mannequins and they just, can't get it. And that's perfectly fine because some of us, this is just not going to be what we do. I would say get a professional. Go to a professional to do it. I've been braiding for some time now, so it's like, it's natural to me. And sometimes I just want a quick style and I don't want to, pay a lot. Oh, those packs of hair was actually, they were $5 a pack. Okay, so I'm not going to braid it all the way to the end. I'm just going to braid it because I'm going to use a curling rod to kind of set the end. To give it that curl. Okay, I may just use this way. Less rubber bands for me. Okay, so you see how that looks? Wanna do that curl rod set at the end where the hair at the end is out and not braided. One way you can end this is by taking a little piece and sticking out your index finger to kind of hold it in place while you wrap it around. Your index finger is going to be that hoop. You put the strand of hair through the hoop. That's one time. So you're going to knot it so it doesn't unravel. Once again, your index finger out and have your thumb hold on to it. You're going to wrap it around the hair and going to put it through the loop. So that's twice. And then typically what I will do is I'll open up the strand that I use and then tie it together, then tie it again so it doesn't unravel. Another option is to kind of use your rubber band, which is the simplest option. The third option, and some people may not want to use, is you can actually use nail glue. So if you're a beginner and you just don't want to knot it, or you don't feel comfortable, so I'm gonna show you with the rubber band. So just the rubber band, preferably a black rubber band if your hair is black. They have clear ones in the store as well. So rubber band, and just twist it around to kind of create that, so the braid doesn't unravel, especially if you're planning on dipping it or whatever you plan on doing to the ends. Okay, so that's what we have. What we're working so far, and I always like to pull it down to just make sure the braids are straight. And that's what we're working with. So you may want to preemptively, like, just rubber band. Once you make the part, rubber band your parts, rubber band all of your parts, then go into the braiding afterwards. So maybe it's easier for you to kind of just go through and rubber band and make your parts so that you can just go in and braid. For me, I'm doing other things. So it's just like, I'd rather rubber band than braid, and get it over with than rubber band the whole entire head, then go back into braid. I don't know why I feel like it's more work for me. So yeah, but that may be an easy approach for you. So I'll come back when I'm dipping the ends in the final round. So we finished all of our braids. And now what I'm going to do is I like to trim the ends before I curl it. So I'm just going to trim the ends to make everything even, so there's no straggly ends when I curl it. Now that's optional, but I find that the curls curl better when the ends are trimmed. It just looks better. See, like these straggly ends, I'm just gonna clip them. That still leaves you with some length. You want to curl it tight around the rod. Don't let the hair overlap each other. So I'm going to put my towel on, and I'm just going to demonstrate just one. I have my towel on. I have another towel. This is hot water. I only use this mug for, you know, dipping my hair. And you're just gonna dip the rod in there. Be careful when you do this, or maybe ask for help. So I slowly take it out and let it fall on the towel. So I finished curling the ends of my hair. I'm just trying to move back so you can see. So I may clip some of the ends a little bit more because they're straggly. In the event you curl your ends and it's not to your liking, just go back in and curl it. This is DIY braiding. You know, I know I'm not a professional, even though I've been braiding here for some time. I could do a little something, something. And I end up just using 2 packs. So this style with the rubber bands was probably like $10 for the hair, $2 or $1 for the rubber band. The jam is usually $3. So it's definitely affordable. It's under $30. Well, is it? Yeah, it's under $30. And, you know, it's a quick little hairstyle. I tend to add like water wave hair because I love that curl, but I kind of wanted to try this bulkier curl, thicker curl, and not add additional hair to it. But yeah, I'm loving it. And so what I'm gonna do now is just, you know, the finishing product. You gotta have mousse to tame those flyaways. Some mousse and probably some oil. I'm gonna tie it down a bit. And then I'm going to go clean my house because, you know, if you ever braided your hair before, you know that it leaves a mess. And right now my carpets are looking horrible and I can't tolerate it. Then I'm going to spray some oil sheen, lay it down a bit. And this is what we're working with. I laid down a little bit of my, you know, struggling edges, and some of the curls have dropped since then. This is the back. This is the curls. Some of the curls have dropped since then. I've been to the gym and doing other things. So this is the finished product of my jumbo braids. So I hope that you found this tutorial, found something helpful in this tutorial. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to comment below. Please remember to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'm going to go film some other lookbooks. So yeah, this is the finished product. I love the ombre at the end. And you know, for beginners, you do not have to be perfect with your parts. You don't have to be perfect. As well as I never cut my flyaways. I never trim them because it's usually my hair and I'm fine with it. So this can last me, you know, if I take care of it, it'll last me up to like upwards to a month. So let me just give you the back again. And I parted it in a way that it can be a side part, but if I wanted to, it can also be a middle part as well. So that's it as a middle part. And as I said, you see my flyaways already. Typically when that happens, I'll just tuck it back in or I'll just put jam on it. So yeah. So remember to please like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, all that YouTube terminology. And then stay tuned for more videos. Bye. We out.